This episode is sponsored by Bookish Wine. If you're as obsessed with Child of Shivay as we are, go check out Bookish Wine. They fell in love with the book, just like we did, and partnered with author J.R. Cathers to create something truly magical. Their December release features a special edition of the Child of Shivay book and a Shivaria Malbec, a wine with a collector's label inspired by the book. Bookish Wine is a quarterly subscription box pairing epic romantasy books with handcrafted wine for a truly immersive experience. Visit bookishwine.com to learn more and subscribe.
Visit bookishwine.com/collab/banter and bookmarks. 21 plus only. Enjoy responsibly. We are a Bookish Wine affiliate and earn a small commission through our Bookish Wine link.
Happy Fantasy Friday. It's time for book club. We are Lindsey,
Kelly,
and Katharine, and this is the Banner and Bookmarks podcast. We are three book besties diving into romantasy with unhinged theories and a bit of spice.
This is episode 2 of a 6-episode series covering Child of Shivay by J.R. Cathers. So if you do need a spoiler-free introduction and a refresher to the characters or their world, go back and listen to episode 1, our world-building episode that features the author herself.
But for now, pour yourself a drink, come escape reality with us, and let's talk about books. We are going to start by summarizing, as we usually do, the set of chapters for this episode, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this time. We are covering chapters 1 through 8. But I want to point out that for this portion of the book, we have significant time jumps back and forth between present day and the past. So in this summary section, we are going to keep the timeline intact, which means we are going in order of time, not chapter by chapter. And that's just for the summary section. Once we get into our deep dive, we will start going back and forth as the book does, but just know if you've read the book, it might feel a little wonky because we are summarizing by timeline.
Got it.
Hopefully that made sense.
Yeah. Chronological.
Okay.
We can do this.
Right.
We can do it, guys. We can do this.
Katharine, why don't you get us started?
8 years before present day, Shivaria is a young woman who is training to become a Drakai, an elite assassin of the crown, and more specifically, a Fey Dien, also known as the Beautiful Death. She meets with a new master of shadows, Vikesh, and is told by Lyanna, her mentor, that she must train with him. 6 months pass by and they continue to train together. As they are training, one day they come across 5 Thane males. They attack them, but the Shadow Master and Vari make it out. After the attack, Vari decides that they can be friends.
2 years go by. Vikesh tells Vari to pack for a week, that they're going on a surprise journey. This is the farthest south Vari has ever been, and she recalls that on every map she has ever seen, it is smeared with a thick layer of coal. In her mind, she has always called it the smudge. She makes note that there is an abundance of healthy trees and growth here. In the middle of the night, Vari wakes up to the Shadow Master having been bitten by a serpent. She kills it and tries to find an herb called latrice to counteract the venom. While she is searching, she comes across an old crone in the woods. She tells Vari that she can give her what she needs, but for a price. She asks her to grant me a piece of the lie that binds you. She trades for the herb, and he eventually wakes up. He is extremely concerned when Vari tells him about her bargain with the crone. They spend the rest of the week in peace, and the Shadow Master gifts Vari with a pair of obsidian daggers to, quote, fend off the demons.
2 more years pass by, and Vikesh and Shivaria continue to train. They are training in the water, and when Vari realizes she is late to a lesson with Bront, and she is soaking wet, she asks Vikesh for his shirt. Instead, Lyanna is waiting for her, and she finds it despicable that Vari is wearing Vikesh's shirt. She hints that now she understands why she is his favorite student and that she shouldn't call him Kesh, that it is too familiar of a term. Liana tells her that she has sent Vikesh away on an assignment. 6 months later, Vikesh returns from his mission, but because of the pressure that Liana put on her before, Shivarya is cold towards him and tells him that she does not want to train with him.
Now in present day, it is a big day for Shivarya. She is being shipped off from her homeland of Latari to Akarai, a neighboring kingdom. She has received her first mission in service to the crown to end the life of the king in a foreign land. Shivarya boards the ship to make her journey, and Vikesh is on the same ship with her. While Liana has packed her trunks with gowns and hair combs, Vikesh has provided her with the set of obsidian blades.
Shivarya and Vikesh continue on their sea journey to Akarai, and during dinner one evening, she tells him that she has dreams about her past that haunt her. His advice: fight, drink, or fuck it out of your system. She decides to drink. Shivarya wakes up the next morning with a nasty hangover. Her dreams are getting worse, and Vikesh notices. He worries that once on land, the people of Akarai will notice too, so he suggests pitch, which is a highly addictive, illegal drug that will help assist her in a dreamless sleep. He suggests that something else might help her ease her tension, and Vikesh helps ease Shivarya's pain by giving her an orgasm. The next day, Shivarya tries to pleasure herself, but she can't quite get there. Frustrated, she turns to drinking instead. The next, Shivarya asks Vikesh for lessons, and he starts to guide her hands, then leaves her to it. She turns to drinking again.
That night, Shivarya has another nightmare, and it is a bad one. Vikesh is there when she wakes up, and she begs him to give her the release she needs. To be clear, they still haven't slept together. He is pleasuring her, though. That day, he brings her not pitch, but a sedative herb that will help her sleep. They get into an argument about what they mean to each other, but before they can solve it, the ship docks in Akarai. Shivarya is met by her Uncle Felius. It is time for her to play her part as a Fae DN.
Right.
Woohoo! Okay, so now that we are in our deep dive section, everybody, we are going to go back to switch to the format of the book instead of going chronologically. So pay close attention because we are going to be jumping back and forth within the timeline a bit as we do this deep dive.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that 8 years prior to present is 16. So we go from 16, 18, 20, and then in present day, she is 24. And I also thought it was interesting. She meets Kesh when she's 16. And she mentions she's been doing this mantra in her head every time she wakes up, you're safe, since she's 16. But I don't think it's her nightmares that start until after she meets Bhagya when she's 18.
Okay.
I
Good
don't
to
know.
Yeah. Curious.
But yeah, so the first detail we see is Vari waking up from a nightmare. And I think it shows us just how important these dreams are to her character and to her character development, that this is how we meet her, right? So Vikesh asked her for the first time. He wants her to tell him about the dreams. He knows that she's been having the dreams, but this is the first time she says he asks about them specifically to her face. And she says, it feels like she knows them. So let's unpack her dreams here for a bit.
Mhm.
I am under the assumption that these people in her dreams are her parents. Do we agree that that's who she's dreaming about?
That was my main thought for
Right.
most of the book. I think that is what we are supposed to assume.
Up until this point, maybe not her later dreams,
Right.
because her dreams definitely evolve as the
Yeah.
book goes on. But at this point,
Yeah.
I assume that it's her parents.
Yeah.
At the first reread, I absolutely assumed it was her parents.
Mhm.
At subsequent now rereads, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if I believe it's her parents. I don't know if I could say definitively what I think it is. I just
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, but the fact that she says it feels like I know them, it's like, well, wouldn't you know your parents? But at 4 years old, you don't remember,
Yeah.
you don't have memories
Yeah.
yet. So who knows? I don't know.
But that would make sense for someone at her age, if she is dreaming about her parents, to say, I feel like I know them.
Right. Right. True. If it actually
Because
is.
to your point, if it was like, that would be a normal thing for someone in her situation to be like, think about it. She has no pictures. She
Right.
doesn't know really who they are or where she comes from. She just knows that she was saved from this burning building.
Right.
So the fact that there's burning and blood in in these dreams kind of make you assume
Yeah.
that they're about
But
her
do they ever
parents.
actually talk about her parents that they died in that fire? Or no? Was that all things that we've made up?
I do think that
Not in the
she
dream
says
specifically, but yes.
but I think that she says when she talks about Liana saving her that it was just her left, or I think that there was mention of her family
Okay.
being in the fire.
Yeah, I don't remember it being specific to the family because I was like, oh, I wonder if like we are just all assuming that was her family and actually they
No,
never actually said it.
I don't know the actual wording, but I'm pretty
There was some kind of connection.
sure.
Okay.
Yeah, because I read this today.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure. Again, I don't remember what the exact language is, but so then we go back 6 years earlier into the smudge. And Vikesh says, pack for a week. We're going on an adventure.
I'm going on an adventure.
I was thinking more Hobbit.
Yes,
I
me
was
too.
too. I was. Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
But when he like goes down there and it's always
Yes.
this stand up Jeff.
Yeah. So Shivaria realizes they are heading south, and she notes that this is the farthest south she's ever been, and for good reason. I don't know what those reasons are, but below the southern border of Latari on every map I've ever seen, it is smeared ominously with a thick layer of dark coal, the smudge.
The smudge.
That is what the name I gave it years ago when not one of my teachers would tell me what it was called. So this place has been wiped from the maps, and I want to know why. At first, I thought it was because Bhagya is there, but I think that she can appear anywhere. So there must be another reason. I'm assuming the Latari government is wanting to keep them from finding out that they are Fae there.
Surprise, surprise, they're not gone. They stayed after the sundering.
Yeah.
They sure did.
So I do, again, it's one of those things, not one of my teachers would tell me what it was called. Is it because they didn't know? You know, like she talks a little bit about written history and how it has been messed with over time. So it makes you wonder who knows what in this.
Not normal Latarians, that's for sure.
For sure. All right. Apple.
Apple.
Nope. Who wants to talk about it? We only get a little taste of the apple. Come on, Lindsey.
Go ahead, Lindsey.
Okay, so she notices that the woods are dead-end, but she's eating an apple. Well, let me tell you, that apple had to have been an expensive ass import, right?
Yep.
I really had an aha moment with this apple on my reread because I realized in the later chapters we learn there's a whole chapter about the apple, right? And that Liana and the Latari soldiers are stealing the rations. And Shivaria is just enjoying this apple without realizing its real price.
Right.
But she does.
In the least.
She does realize the real price.
She should.
She does, because that happened.
In the timeline.
Yeah.
Yep.
That apple scene happened when she was younger. So in this timeline, it has happened, but she's still just chomping down.
But it's so surprising to me that she knows the price of that and she doesn't recognize it at all in here.
No.
Or like, I feel like she should have this moment where she's like,
apple.
This is the best apple I've ever eaten.
I could never look at an apple the same in my life.
Right. Like she doesn't as much. There's a whole chapter about how that apple affects her life.
Yep.
But now she's just eating an apple
Totally
like it's
fine.
nobody died for that freaking fruit.
Right.
Like,
but they clearly do, and they're willing to.
I have a lot of thoughts about the apple.
Wait to have this banter with you guys about a chapter dedicated to an apple. This is going to be the most fun chapter. A literary
When we talk about
exploration.
it, but when we talk about that chapter, let's come back to this moment because it had such a profound effect on her.
Yep.
And now this bitch is just taking a bite
Chomping.
like it's nothing. Whatever.
No care in the world.
Ugh. Anyways, sorry.
Love
I'm
that
going my
chapter.
apple.
I love, and I can't wait to talk about the fact that we had very different opinions on that apple scene the first
Yes.
read. That was fun. I love it. There's another really fun scene that happens when they're in the smudge. Vikesh makes a pact with Shivarya that if she can catch a fish with her bare hands, he will cook all the meals for a week.
Packed. Bargain, but packed.
A pact.
Bargain.
For sure. For sure.
Faye bargains are important,
They
okay?
are.
And she makes a bargain with him here.
Yep. And it's very funny. She has like a funny line here. She is going to catch a fish with her bare hands if it is the last thing she does. It's a funny, I'm going to do this and I don't care what he says kind of scene.
Yeah.
And I appreciated it.
But then it's the best thing she's ever eaten. And I'm like, so he can cook too.
Uh-huh. Get you a man who can cook.
Yeah,
Do it.
right? And I know we warned everyone earlier to really think about Vikesh's, what his true Fane power could be. And I do think that if you read this chapter, there are potential hints in here about what his power could be.
Yep. We think so. So read that chapter again.
Everybody's gonna be like, what is it?
What?
Yeah.
Read it and come debate us because we think we know. Okay.
They are in the smudge, and Vari wakes up one morning. We get a quote, "My feet still at the border of our camp, the hair on the back of my neck stiffening. I squinting warily when I find the Shadow Master is still asleep. I check the sun, telling myself it's still early, but for reasons I cannot understand, my nerves begin to fray, and all my instincts wail that something is wrong as I approach him."
Reasons I cannot understand?
A bond.
A bond. A viper has
Power.
bitten. Not that power, guys. Not snake biting.
No. Not Vikesh's power, but
Her.
you have senses, girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay. Sorry.
We find out a viper has bitten him. Vari kills the viper. Thank goodness she's good with daggers.
Oh, for sure.
And she knows. She's like digging around in her brain. She has a horrible panic, and she's like, Leanna taught me about this. I remember she made me stick my hand and get bitten by a snake multiple times until I figured out and remembered what flower I need. And she's like, Latrice. I need Latrice. She goes off to find it. But oh well, there's a problem. It's got a deadly cousin, and unless Latrice is showing its flowers, you cannot tell the stems and leaves of it away from its deadly cousin.
Convenient.
And she's panicking. But wait, what mysterious creature should we meet in the woods who happens to pull out of her cloak the very thing that you need?
Mm-hmm.
Bhagya.
Here she is.
I feel like we're about to go off the deep
We're gonna
We are.
just
Buckle up.
buckle up, Buttercup. Let's get on it.
Spiral moment
Here we go.
of the podcast
The first thing
has come.
I am
Yeah.
thinking is, she's like, well, obviously, who is this ugly, ugly, ugly woman in the woods who's literally just appeared out of nowhere? So my head whips towards a low cackle coming from a small patch of deeply darkened shade. I will my eyes to focus on the form of an old, decaying crone sitting atop a large, mossy boulder. A long, tattered cloak hangs draped around her shoulders, its large hood pulled low over the crown of her head. Her hands and eyes are bound by an abundance of frayed rags, a near toothless grin pulling at the corners of her thin, colorless lips. The few teeth she has are blackened by decay, much like the fingernails protruding from her bindings. These she taps rhythmically on her thigh. Every nail is caked in filth, split into the bed of her fingers, and broken in a jagged array along the tips. She is a looker.
Ouch.
I know, right?
Gorgeous.
My
Doesn't it
fingers
hurt?
hurt when I hear that
Yes.
about her nails. I'm like, ooh.
So we find out that it's Vari's need that called Bhagya to her. And it's always bad if you have something you need so bad that Bhagya shows up and says,
Mhm.
let's make a bargain. Because what do we find that Bhagya has? The very Latrice. Latrice. Vari tells her she needs Latrice, but she never told Bhagya who she needed the Latrice for. And
Did she
Boggy,
say I need Latrice, or did
she
Boggia just
yes.
know?
She does tell her about the Latrice, then Boggia produces the Latrice. But what
Oh,
she
I thought Boggia just knew.
no, she
that
does.
That's what she was
Well, I
looking
mean,
for.
she shows up and is like, let me just pull it out of here. So she
Well,
does know
But I
that
feel
you
like
need the
that's an
Latrice.
important. I feel
No,
like
no, no.
that's an
Let me
important
explain it, 'cause
distinction, though.
Yes, it is. But let me explain what happened. She
Okay.
does tell her about the Latrice, because I was all over this one. She tells her
Yeah.
she needs the Latrice. She produces the Latrice. What she does not tell Boggia about is who she needs the Latrice for. But what does Boggia say? Hurry. He doesn't have much more time. She never told Boggia who got bit by a viper, yet Boggia says, hurry along, he doesn't have much time. It sounds very, very much like Boggia might have set this whole thing up so that Vari would need her, the solution she has in her hands, and come make a bargain with Boggia.
Right.
This is a setup, people. This is a conspiracy.
She knows that she's I think she knows that she's been trained by Leanna to know all the poisons, that she knows what skills she will have, and this is something that she can set up. And it's funny because on the first read, I was like, oh, well, Boggia's a crone. She's a witch. Like,
She
tell
has what you
her what
need.
she needs. She can just create it out of thin air. And then on my other rereads, I was like, nah, this is all set up.
Yeah.
It all feels set up.
And I also think it's important to note that we do find out later with Auri that this is not Boggia's true form, right? Auri also at some point entered into a bargain with Boggia that gave Boggia a mask to wear, which means that what Shivaria is seeing is not Boggia's true form.
Correct.
Okay? Hugely important.
Yes.
As we move into Theoryland.
Yes.
Katharine, go for it, because I know you want to go there.
We're selling you tickets to Theoryland
I have a huge theory about who is Boggia.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay.
Let's talk about it.
I don't think I want to talk about it yet. I think we're going to wait here a little bit more, because I don't want to say who it is yet, because I want us to go through the journey of the evidence in book one that points to this person that I think Boggia is.
All right.
There are two specific quotes that happen later in the book and one at the very, very end that kind of binds this whole thing together in my mind.
Well, let's read one of them right now.
Put a pin in that one.
Grant me a piece of the lie that binds you, and it is done. Let's pin that. Okay. For now, let's talk about the piece of the lie.
Right.
Okay. Because what lie is in the room with us?
Right.
Yeah.
Hello.
Lie, please raise your hand. Will the real Slim
even
Shady.
Vari's like, okay, sure.
She has no idea, right?
She just says, all right, you can take it, but she doesn't know what she's taking.
Once the thread is removed, it's only a matter of time before what remains begins to unravel. And Katharine, what happens now that she meets Boggia in the woods?
Demon dreams! All of his dreams!
So part of this lie and what is unraveling starts from this moment, which again is what makes the dreams so important as we learn more about Shivaria's character. Right?
And we're going to get a demon dream coming up here soon that she has, her very, very first one. You guys know I love Vari so much. I do sometimes criticize her. The fact that she was basically like, yeah, I made a bargain and nothing bad ever happened because of that bargain. I'm like, honey, do you not realize your dreams got really, really
and
bad?
after the dreams?
Right. Yeah, she never puts that
does.
together.
That
like,
first
come
night
on,
I had
girl.
this dream. Yeah.
Yeah. And then she says, quote, a push and then a pull, something foreign and yet so familiar. that some deep part of me calls it home. It's as if the very pulse of terror is rushing out of her, caressing my skin, beckoning me to join in the rhythm of all who have come before me and all who will come after.
I got goosebumps with that one.
Yes.
Hello, Shivay.
Yeah, Shivay has now entered the chat.
Yes.
We are
like,
here.
This quote to me is like, it's really the first instance that we see her connection to terror and to this world take on such a deeper meaning here.
Yes. And I love that it feels like it is something that has been inside of her and part of her for so long.
Unleashed.
And whatever she
Yes.
gave to her is allowing it to, it's like it was
It's the piece
being
of
a
the
mask.
lie.
Yes. And like the
Yes,
lie is
it's
like who you actually are.
unbinding.
Exactly.
Unbinding is a very good
interesting.
word, Lindsey.
Binds.
Love it. But can I also talk about the poetic use of the word lie?
Okay.
Like, that's just such an interesting word choice here, because I could see, grant me a piece of what binds you, but it's the lie. The lie. That's an interesting word to use.
Especially that so much of Vari's journey as a character is her unraveling all of the lies that she has been fed and all of the things that she grew up believing as truth. And then she goes to Akarai and
I'm getting
finds
really
out
excited.
it's all
It's a journey,
all
guys.
lies. It's a journey. It's like, all right, let's start on this path. And this is when it starts.
Oh, I'm getting so excited right now.
Yes.
Like listening to you guys talk about it and the piece of the lie and the journey and everything, like it's so exciting.
Have we said it enough that this is the next big book series?
This is the most amazing book that has
fantasy,
ever existed
romance.
in the world.
Come on.
Ever.
Everybody,
I mean-
everybody.
I don't think people will appreciate. I mean, we got timelines. We got how many times they say Dora? Do we have a language coming out? Do we have massive theories coming? Like the amount of evidence we have pulled from this book. There's so much here to find.
And the fact that I really do love this book a little bit more every time I read it.
Yeah.
And that is so cool.
Yes.
Like I'm not getting, oh, I found that, or I'm skimming through things. I find myself piecing it together more and more every time. And it's just, it's insane.
There
So
are not
anyways,
many books that
okay.
we can do that with. It is few
Yeah.
and far between. And so that makes it special.
Vikesh finally wakes up. And I'm assuming he wants to know. He's asking all these questions. The second he's like, nope, tell me again. Tell me about the crone. Tell me what she asked you. So this is the moment, right, that he realizes that she has been visited by Bhagya and exactly who Bhagya is. This is the moment that Vikesh figures out who Bhagya is and who Shivarya is.
Yes, she knows. He knows right now. That's
This is
the
it.
Voltura right there.
Yeah.
Which is just, then you have to read the book again, because then you're like, well, fuck.
Right.
Let me read
Now I
every
gotta go back.
chapter with them after, because he knows who she is.
Yeah. Yep. She goes to sleep, and this is the first time that she has the nightmare, and it's with Kesh. And
So her first dream, blood. There's so much blood. My hands fly to cover my ears, and I scream, willing away the sound of the blade as it is dragged across flame-licked floor. A woman lies before me, unmoving, her hand stretched out toward me. Her beauty is striking even beneath the wet crimson ribbons adorning her cheeks. Though the light is gone from her eyes and her lips do not move, she calls to me, Shivarya. The ghostly whisper chills my blood, and my screams begin again in a key of true horror. And then she wakes up and somebody is screaming, Shivarya!
yeah, and again, the dream, the woman's mouth is closed. So it's not actually the woman saying Shivarya. It is her hearing Vikesh
Right.
in the real world. The more interesting thing to me is that when she wakes up, Vikesh is like hovering over her in this like strange trance. And I don't really know what to make
of
of
that.
that trance.
100%.
Like, do you guys have thoughts about why he's doing that?
I'm reading it again. Give me 1 second, and then I want to.
Yeah, because it's
I-
interesting.
In my third reread, I started to realize that my theory is that this is not a dream of something that has happened to her. This is a dream of something that will happen in the future.
Thank you. I was going to say the same thing.
I go back and forth of even on subsequent rereads of what I feel like the dreams are. And to be honest with you, I have a really different read of them almost every time.
Yes.
I see them. Like, it's very undefined for me. Is it talking about the past and it's her parents? Is it something that could happen in the future?
Right.
Like, the dreams are very,
Yeah.
I even on 3 rereads cannot figure out quite what the dreams mean. And I think that's very purposeful. I think they're very intended to be massive hints that we are in books 2, 3, 4, and 5 going to look back on these and be like,
now we get it. Yeah. Because I wonder, now that you say that too, I wonder if she is seeing things that are happening in real time.
Yeah.
Somewhere else. Like she's
I feel like there's
in
or
the
if
mind
she's
of something
doing it.
happening, or she's doing it, or that's.
Yeah, like I said, the first time I'm like, I feel like it's her parents, but the more I have read on.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially because, again, going back to Vikesh being in this trance over her, and every time she can either, like, it happens with Xavian in the future too, where he's there and she ends up fighting him, thinking that she's fighting the demon, but she's actually fighting. So there's such this like a connection between, is it a dream? Am I awake?
Right.
Am I asleep? Is this person? Is it like there's so much, it's so much muddled that it makes me think that there's got to be more than, oh, she's having a dream.
I
right?
completely agree with that.
Did I answer any question that I have for myself? No, I made myself more confused.
Yeah,
but that's where we're at.
That's
with the
what
dreams.
happens. We just, the notes just get longer with no answers added to them.
Yeah.
Jess.
But there's definitely a purposeful muddling to, she's never quite sure when she wakes up, the dreams carry into her wakeful state.
Yes.
Vikesh is hovering over her.
He's clearly seeing something or
There's
experiencing
a lot
something
going on there.
I love his reaction
But
when
what
he
does
says,
he do?
just a dream?
Yeah.
No.
But what does he do? He gives her the daggers back. Again, these daggers to me are so important.
Right.
Which is also, if she is the demon killing people, let's arm her.
Yeah.
So maybe not. Yeah. I know it's got to be more than like, oh, you feel safer when they're around. Like, no, something else.
There's gotta. I'm convinced that there's got to be some magic to it. Yeah. Okay, back to present day.
We're
out at sea.
We're back.
And
from
what
our
does
spiral.
he call her?
Yashna! Again.
But they're at port today, and he has some business on land, so he leaves the daggers with her. For safekeeping.
Does anyone else want to know what the frig all of his business is? Because I'm like, what are you doing? What have you done?
Well, I think this one. Is this the one he's going to get
later?
The herb? Or,
yeah. Later, that one's the end.
In this moment, what are you doing, bro?
What you doing? I want to know.
And in this one, it's even more interesting because he doesn't come onto the ship and then they leave. She makes a note that they leave port and Vikesh does not come to her right away. Yeah, so it's just that the timing leads me to believe that there's something afoot, that he doesn't come to her and then the ship leaves. They leave port and then she falls asleep, has another dream. They're getting worse. Vikesh knows it. And that's when he comes to her.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And comes to her? Was that a specific word choice?
Well,
let's talk about that.
Now that you mention it.
Now that you mention coming, Shivaria is blessed with her first orgasm.
Blessed.
A lesson.
A lesson. First, he does suggest pitch.
Illegal.
It's a highly addictive drug. Illegal. But it will put you to sleep and also make you fight your demon.
And what else does it do to you?
Blackens your teeth.
Sure does blacken your teeth, just like the crone with the black teeth. Okay, keep going, keep going.
So he says there's a couple ways you can keep your demon at bay. All right, let's try pleasure.
Hey, she's like, what does that mean?
Didn't Leanna ever teach you this? Nope.
Why would Leanna teach me this? But that's fine.
Because I'm a
Girl to
beautiful girl assassin
Right.
who's sent on a
Supposed to
mission
Probably
some
need to be
dude.
able to
king.
seduce people and know what's
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I feel like these are these moments with the two of them that I'm like, y'all need to admit your feelings for each other.
Not
1000%.
allowed to. Remember, he was literally sent away from her for 4 years because she
I
called
know.
him Kesh and showed up innocently in his wet shirt and also got her arm broken by the monster,
Yeah.
Liana.
Yeah, but Leanna's not there. You're in
Oh my
practice.
God, but Kelly, she's been controlled by these
Yeah.
circumstances her entire life since she was 4. She's not going to deviate. She's
No,
a professional.
she's not going to.
Right.
She's
I
not
think I
going
just
to.
wanted
You
there
want
to
them
be this
to.
moment
Yeah.
where you're like, you're finally on your own.
Yeah.
You finally are under, like, out of being under Leanna's grasp. Like, I wish you would just, and it's so obvious that the feelings are there that I just want you to
Yeah.
accept them.
But it
I
makes
get
the
why
ending
you
of
don't.
it makes the ending of these
Yeah.
chapters that much
Yeah.
more impactful because
Yeah.
they don't ever actually have this
But-
conversation.
But before we get there,
Mhm.
let's go back because, again, we're jumping back and forth and back and
Yep.
forth. So before he gets to that lesson, though, we're ripped away from that moment of reading pleasure.
Bye.
Ha ha
Ha ha
ha.
ha.
And we got to jump back 4 years.
What a tease,
Okay?
Jess.
Yeah. Literally.
Listen, Jessica. Okay.
So this is the lesson where Shivaria is trying to move silently in the water. Okay. Again, I feel like this is a big scene that in the search for Vikesh's power, I think that there are potentially hints in this chapter about what it could be. But she is trying to move silently in the water. She lunges at him, but he bests her and she falls in and gets drenched. Okay. And the tension is tensioning.
Absolutely tense. Cut that shit with a
So
knife.
good.
Mhm.
It's so good.
Oh, my shirt is wet. Can you give me yours?
I can't possibly be late for
No.
training.
I want
That's not how she's saying it, you
You
little.
see rippling
Yes,
abs
this is how I'm-
as you take your shirt off.
This is how I see it in the obviously future movie adaptation of this book.
And you're right. She does not say
No.
it like that. She's like, I can't be late.
I need a shirt. Give me your shirt.
Bront will
right
kill
now.
me. Give me your shirt. And he's like,
Yeah.
okay. But either way, he takes his shirt off. And then I think there's this moment where she's like, I imagine him walking in, like the Master of Shadows walking into the Southern Keep in a wet shirt. And it makes me laugh, kind of thing. That's
Mhm.
funny.
So after
Shirt's
the
off.
scene,
Shirt's
his shirt is off.
It's beautiful.
I'm sure it is beautiful. His rippling umber-skinned muscles. Beautiful. Glistening in the wetness. And she says, something has changed, though I can't put my finger on exactly what it is or when it happened.
Hormones.
Attention Hello.
Hormones.
Feelings, attention has settled between us, not altogether unpleasant, but it has stripped away some of the ease we've shared for years. I no longer feel entirely settled in the Shadow Master's presence, and he has begun to move around me like I am a doe on one of our hunts. As if I might be as if I might be spooked away at the snapping of a twig. It is something I don't understand. You
Okay.
are starting to feel the yearning of teenagers and
Teenager, she's 20.
Yes.
She's 20. She's a little
Right.
bit late bloomer there.
She's a late bloomer.
But
She has been
of course
kept
she's
away.
a late
Well, yeah.
bloomer. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's like, wait a minute, I don't get this. Yeah, because you've been so kept.
yeah, it's
It's
starting.
It's starting.
Yep.
Starting.
But unfortunately,
Ugh.
Liana is the one that's waiting.
Not
for her.
Bront. She was like,
And
Bront.
I know, and she's punishing her for getting close to Vikesh and even implies that they're sleeping together, which Shivaria is shocked by. She's like, no, he would never. But either way, Liana punishes her, which again, when we flash forward to the present, you read moments like this in the past, and it makes so much sense of why she is not admitting her feelings for Vikesh. I know I literally just said I
Yeah,
want her to,
yeah.
but I also said I understand why she doesn't,
Yeah,
and it's because of these moments.
right. She gets
And-
punished when she does. So.
Yeah. And by punished, we mean arm broken, ribs cracked.
Tortured.
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
punished as in she is brutally beaten by this.
Yeah,
and
it's awful.
she makes a point of saying, I will never lay this burden on Vikesh, the punishment I received at Leanna's hands this day. I would never want him to carry that weight. Everybody read that scene one more time. I'm teasing you. Read that scene. We'll talk about it later, but read that scene again and see if you get any hints about stuff. And they're sad.
But also, Katharine, you had some really good crispy teas.
Oh, I did.
Brutally battered. I was like,
brutally battered.
Brutally battered.
And Shivaria mentions in the previous chapter that she wishes that day hadn't kept them apart. So it really shows you the blame that she puts on herself for putting Vikesh in danger because she feels like it's her fault that he was sent on missions.
Yeah.
And when he returns, I think it's 6 months, he returns and she still remains very cold from him, very distant from him. It takes a long time before she's able to warm back up to him because she feels that so much of that guilt on herself.
And
right?
he tries to be like, hey, Shivar, like he is trying to maintain that friendship, that relationship, and she's like, absolutely not. And it's sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
So sad. And then back to present day, right? Time to relax, Shivaria. He gets her off. She gets some sweet demon release. Did you just see my note?
Yes. Oh, my.
And again, we're pinning it for you. I think that even in this scene, there are some hints about Vikesh's power. Oh, now that we keep hinting at it, I can't wait for us to go back.
Everybody's going to be like, what are you reading?
I know, but it's so good though.
Yeah, and he used that power in a sexually little way there.
That's true. I like it.
And she wakes up the next morning and says, why, yes, good sir, it did settle my dreams a little bit. Thank you so much. She says that they were still there, but that they felt like not as intense. So it helps. I love it.
Yep.
I had some great non-dreams last night.
Great non-dreams. Right, I love those non-dreams. This is when they also talk about kind of who they are to each other, right? And their relationship with each other. And there's a quote, us, we are just us. We are happy and nothing will change.
That's worrisome.
Foreshadowing.
That's foreshadowing if I've ever seen
Ominous.
It. Yeah. Yes.
She does try the release on herself and cannot seem to get there. So she decides to ring that bell and ask the captain,
more wine,
more ale, more wine, more ale instead.
Just give me a drink,
please.
Because I don't
help.
think we have it quoted here, but Vikesh tells her there's a couple ways to release stress in your life, and it is either to fight, drink, or fuck.
Yep, we said it earlier up.
Fuck. And I love the spelling.
I do too.
Of all
the shit and the fuck. Yeah.
Hished
and fuck. Yeah.
So good.
So she can't find the release on herself, so she goes to Vikesh and says, please offer me more instruction.
The nicest way to say.
And he does.
Hey, wanna do something?
And he is so happy to oblige.
Yep.
Is this one where he brings her to completion, or he like gets her started and then leaves her hanger? Is that this one?
This might, I think you're right. I think this is, she tries to find the release on herself. No, I think it's twice. I think
she tries to find it, fails.
Bring her more ale.
Yes.
Then offer me more instruction. He shows her what to do and then leaves her.
And then says, okay, go ahead, I showed
you. And
she
fails.
And again. And she fails, and what happens when she fails? She has more dreams
and gets
more.
In
much more detail this time. This is where they really start to change. There's a demon with black flames and dark scales. He kills a man and a woman, and the demon has a large sword. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Her frustration builds up, and her dreams get more intense.
And this is also the first time where we start to see Shivaria's dreams manifesting into real life, Like before, she's woken up and been scared of the dreams that she had, but now she wakes up and she says, wisps of shadow curl off of the dark form, attacking me, obscuring its features. The demon is a full head taller than I am, broad at the shoulders and well muscled. And she even says, that's when I let that control slip, when I let go and I lean into the chaos. So this is the moment where Vikesh, in real life, present time, she gets them confused because she wakes up not understanding the line between where the dream ends and reality begins. Yikes.
Ooh, I'm starting to get some theories again, and
Yes.
oh man. And
Okay.
now that whole thing about the fact that like she sees the demon and then is kind of half awake and thinks that Vikesh is actually the demon, and she talked before about the mask slipping and hiding the monster that he is, and I'm like, wait a minute.
The lines, they are a blurring.
Which makes
a
sense.
blurring.
I mean, it
Yeah,
makes sense. Like you're
right.
having a nightmare and somebody's trying to wake you up. So reality is bleeding into it. So it is
Right.
such a poetic way that Jess has pulled the dreams together to have them blur that way. I think
Yeah.
is so well done. And so true to actual reality. Like you hear an alarm clock going off in the middle of your dream. It's just so clever. I just love her.
Yeah.
But I do still think that there's more than that to it,
Yeah,
though.
I
think
absolutely.
It's hidden behind poeticness, but I think that it means
Oh, absolutely.
So much more.
That's why it's so clever.
Or I read way too much into everything.
I don't think you
also a
do, because
possibility.
Jess is a tricky trickster.
Tricky trickster.
So
Shavaria wants more from him, and he won't give it to her.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember at the beginning of their little training exercises. That's what we'll call this. He made a point of telling her it's hard not to take some lessons to heart, and this is one you can't afford to take personally. Understand? You don't understand, but you must. So just don't forget it. So before they did anything, he did tell her. He warned her off. Like, do not read into this.
Do you think it's?
On.
Oh, I know. I don't disagree with you. I'm just telling you.
Do you think so? The first time I read that, and then I read what happened in the rest of that chapter, I assumed it was don't catch feelings, basically.
Yes,
and like this
yes,
is not more than this.
yes,
Right.
yes.
But now I'm also wondering if him being awful to her here in a couple minutes was actually part of the lesson too. And he was like, hey, don't take this to heart. I almost wonder if he planned to say the awful things to her so that she would get pissed and feel that way and go to Akarai, writing him off and just saying, okay, that's done. And he did that on purpose. And I'm spiraling in my head. I'm spiraling in this moment.
I'm going to make you spiral some more. So let's get through this brutalizing experience first.
That was not in, just so everybody knows, that was not in our outline. I am having this realization live during recording on this 3rd of October that, wait a minute, hold on. I think this lesson was not just this part. It was the whole
thing. And
class session.
And he knows she is the Voltura.
Yes, he does.
So before we get into that, we do get some info about the Akarai king that's important to discuss. Shavaria is under the impression, again, all of these things are from her point of view, which I feel like is an important distinction. So she tells us no Latari person has seen the Akarai king in over 80 years, but people are still being beckoned to his court. That Fane live long lives, but they are not immortal. That the king is gifted, which means he has Fane blood in his veins, which I had a moment where I was like, but wait, I thought he was the Fane king. Of course he has Fane blood in his veins. So there was a little bit of confusion there for me, right? But I think the question comes into like,
percentage of intermarriage
someone Yeah, or like what makes someone feign, because at some point there's got to be some lines crossing.
Right.
So I think that is dropped in there as a hint, because she has always up until this point referred to him as the Fane King, and now she's saying he must have Fane blood in
Right.
his veins. So I think that there's something in that distinction
Yes.
that's going to become important.
And also I think it's a hint for us, because who else do we hear, oh, I have Fane blood somewhere down the line? Vari herself.
Mhm.
So,
Right. Yes.
hello,
Yeah.
Vari.
And
you
Yeah.
yourself know that you have Fane blood.
yeah, you're not Fane, but you've got the blood.
Right.
Yeah.
You've got the power.
But one thing we did not mention earlier about, it came up in chapter 1. So since we were talking about the Fane King here, I think it's important to mention this. The King of Acherai is the last of the Reavers, a rare gift
Mhm.
capable of invading the mind and warping the will of any man. That's
Mhm.
what his power is claimed to be, a Reaver, and that is what a Reaver can do. But Vari then says, all my life I have weighed the validity of those stories.
Right.
Now, Vari does not question anything,
Right.
but she questioned his power, and I think
Yeah.
that is important. I don't know if, because think about it, I don't know in my head what a Reaver is. You say, oh, my power is a Reaver, I'm like, okay, I don't know what that
Right.
is. So I don't know if this is meant to imply the Reaver and the description given is not what a Reaver does, invading the mind, right? Or if it's just he's not a Reaver at all. I don't know where the distinction lies there, but I think it's key to say that's what they claim his power is. It's probably more than just
Yeah.
that.
Okay, so now that we've gotten a little Acherai King info dump
Yep.
out of the way,
Yep.
let's be brutalized
Ugh.
by this
Ready?
goodbye between Vikesh and Shavaria.
The quote,
Katharine, brutalize me.
this is a quote which literally haunts her for the rest of the book, as in it will appear in her brain and
Yep.
she either shuts down or just is heartbroken all over again. Kesh says, you're letting your guard down, Vari. And it is
Yeah. Such a
heartbreaking.
simple
Yep.
Such a
little
yes,
sentence,
so
but
simple.
so impactful on her.
Especially because that is what she is taught not to do. That is her
Yep.
whole, what she feels is her whole value. And he is basically
But-
telling her, you're not it.
Yeah, but the sad thing is like while he's telling her that, he's also bringing her the sedative that's a replacement to pitch that will help her with her dreams.
Yep.
So he's saying you're letting your guard down, but he's also there to guard her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just to clarify, he's not giving her pitch. He's giving her something
Right, he's
else,
giving her the herb to
which
replace
he
it. Yeah.
literally just got the ever-loving crap beat out of him
Yeah.
for.
To get.
And let's just think about that for a minute. This man single-handedly took on 5 Fane warriors. Not a scratch. What just happened that beat up a Shadow Master? Because even
Yeah.
Vari notes, who could actually beat up a Shadow Master?
Yeah.
And
shit went down. I
and
need that scene as a bonus scene.
yes. And there's a quote here. God, it's so crushing. I hate to be the one to break it to you, Shavaria, but all your toys are broken. And if by some cruel twist of fate you are ever handed something pristine, I recommend you discard it before your own damage infects it, turning it into something you could never adore. Break me across the coals with
I know.
that.
It's
But
so bad.
to give anybody a glimmer of hope, Vari notes Kesh's physical reaction as he's saying these horrible things to her. And she says he was unable to stop his hand from shaking as his words rushed out in a torrent. And it's taken several rereads to get this impression, but I believe he is being forced to say these words. He does not mean them.
Yeah.
But something or someone is compelling him to basically, you need Vari to leave this ship and you are
And
dead
walk
to
away from
her.
you. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You have to be dead to her.
And
Make it happen.
you don't think it's him knowing that he needs to set her up. You think it is an outside, not I'm forcing myself to say these things to
Yes.
let her disembark the ship, that's something
Yes.
else.
Yes.
Because I
forcing
feel like
him.
that's important.
Yes, because we're going to
Yeah.
get into oaths and bargains later
Yes.
on in this series and learn about those. And
Yeah.
I think he has some kind of oath
Control. Oh, yes.
controlling him
Yeah.
to
yes.
make
I
him do this
agree
and
that he's actually
cut
being compelled.
ties. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He does
I
not
didn't
want
get
to.
that on my first read.
No, me
Absolutely
neither.
On
not.
my first read,
Did not.
my first read was, okay, he's being harsh with her. He knows that he needs to send her on her way, that she needs to be cut off, that she needs to be emotionless. That was my first read. But like you said, on rereads, it's not him pulling the strings here.
Yes.
Right.
We've been crushed, but we have hope.
We have been crushed.
Yes. Either way, she is disembarking this ship with a whole new line drawn in the sand of, okay, it is now, emotions are cut off and it is time to play my part.
Yeah.
So whatever strings pulled that to happen, it has happened. She is entering this whole new world.
And she has a quote, and I just want to say it here because it is so, like, when I read it the first time, I was like, you are the strongest person I know not to. I would literally be crying in a heap on the floor, and she is so strong. She's thinking in her head, I just feel sorry for her. The girl standing alone in the room, the girl I was before. I try to map out a memory of that girl, knowing in the deepest recesses of my mind, I will never see her again. There are parts of her I will have forgotten 10 years from now, parts of her that I'm sure important people in my distant future would have liked to meet and will now never know, parts I wish to preserve and parts I wish to forget. She is truly closing that chapter and shutting, from this point, she shuts down any emotion that she's not ready for.
Yeah. I think another heartbreaking thing in this final scene of this episode is when she is on the ship and she describes the feeling of the tingling at her back, knowing whose eyes are on her and that it is Vikesh, and she refuses to turn around to look at him and walks away.
She's leaving behind the Drakai woman I was only hours before in the small room where she was broken apart.
Yeah.
I seamlessly slip on the mask of the woman I was born to play.
Yep.
She's so
Beautiful.
strong.
She's so strong.
And then, so something else, too, that I can't believe we didn't bring up. I think we talked about it in episode 1, but I love this quote. He says, a small piece of advice, Miajna. He smiles. Simply assume for the rest of your life that everyone you ever meet is one of my spies and you will never be caught off guard again. So I think that we talked about this a little bit in episode 1 about how we felt like Vikesh all of a sudden just isn't with her anymore. But this kind of proves it, that he is still there.
Yes.
And that there is still such a big presence in her life, even though she doesn't see it.
Yep.
And
as she's in Akarai.
Makes me question who is connected to him that she meets in the rest of the
or
Yes.
or.
3 ors.
Or maybe that Shadow Master himself. There's evidence of his power throughout the rest of the book. He doesn't necessarily leave her. And on that note, we're going to leave you.
I was going to say, that is a great way to end the episode. Sorry, everybody.
That was not purposeful, but
beautifully done.
That was great.
Way to end the
Just
podcast.
like Kesh in the room on the ship.
Mic drop.
So that
Sorry.
is a wrap on episode 2 of Child of Shivay. Thank you so much for joining us for book club this week. Next time, we will be covering chapters 9 through 17. So be sure to join us for the next Fantasy Friday. Happy reading, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
This episode is sponsored by Vidora Marie, who is the official merchandiser for Child of Shivay. There are a few different collections up on the website now, so you can choose from Join the Drakai, Bargain with the Fae, Celebrate Complicated Relationships, and Befriend Wood Sprites. The designs are so perfect for the vibe of this book, so be sure to check out these shirts, hats, cups, sweatpants, and everything. Together with Budora Marie, we will be sponsoring a giveaway after the release of our final episode, so go check out our Instagram for more information.